let's begin the conversation around the National Assembly, the 9th National Assembly, that is, and some of the issues regarding the jostle for the leadership of the 9th National Assembly. Today, the majority leader, Mr. Gbajabiamila, declared his intention to run for the Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 9th National Assembly. He did say that his reason for contesting or for wanting to be Speaker is to change the narrative. Take a listen to him.
I seek the office of the Speaker to bring our tendencies together and unite us as a country. I seek the office of the Speaker to bring governance even closer to the people. I seek the office of the Speaker to mentor the next generation. I seek the office of the Speaker so I can use this bully pulpit to galvanize honorable members to make life more abundant for every Nigerian, irrespective of tribe, religion, religious background, or political persuasion. The House of Representatives was established to be the people's house and to do the people's business. It follows, therefore, that the Speaker must be the people's Speaker, elected to do the people's business and champion their cause, and in doing so, fulfill their hopes and aspirations. This is the Speaker I intend and hope to be. And the House I intend and hope to lead, a people's house. So help me and help us, God.
Well, that's Gbajabiamila there. But there are different dynamics to the race. And I have joining me the Director General of the Gbajabiamila campaign for Speaker, Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin. He joins us from Abuja studio now. Thank you so much, Honorable Jibrin. Interestingly, about this time, 4 years ago, you were in the front row campaigning for Yakubu Dogara. Again, this time around, Yakubu Dogara became a speaker. Could this replay itself where you are campaigning for Gbajabiamila? Can Gbajabiamila get it?
Thank you very much, Sheung. Of course, I'm very sure, I'm certain, that by the grace of our Almighty, Femi Gbajabiamila will emerge as the Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives for so many reasons. Many people have asked that question, but I think it is transparently clear that he is the most prepared candidate. He is the most experienced in terms of legislative work. He is an all-rounder. You can look at his pedigree in the House, the various positions he has held, rising from minority whip all the way to minority leader, then again transiting to majority leader and putting in a lot of effort in all of these 3 offices. In addition, of course, his capacity to mobilize members, of course, relate with them well. I think there is nobody within that house that can boast of such kind of a rich resume except Femi himself. And also, when you take it to the other part, there are certain things that are favoring him at the moment. Of course, global best practice. He's the most senior person. He's the house leader. If not in Nigeria, naturally, there shouldn't even be contest. And that is why we are saying the whole election is not about Femi as a person. It's about getting our democracy right. It's about cleaning up our democracy. It's about bringing in civility into our democracy. It's about also practicing what we preach all the time, global best practice, what is done, the tradition. And of course, it's also about party. All over the world, it is largely the responsibility of the party to decide. And in these instances, such things are all favoring Femi as a person. And of course, finally, we are all impressed, we, his colleagues, the way he handled the defeat in 2015. It was a very shocking one, and a very painful one, where we also played a role in that. But look at the way he handled it. There was no animosity. He took over as leader of the House. He never fought the regime of the present Speaker. He kept performing his role, uniting the House. And of course, it is to his credit largely that the House actually enjoyed the entire stability, well, the stability that was enjoyed in the last 4 years. So I think Femi is very prepared for the job in terms of experience, in terms of his attitude as a person, in terms of the perception of his colleagues about him. And we are not taking anything for granted. We'll keep working very hard. We will campaign one-on-one with our colleagues. We'll reach out to everyone, and we've assured them that Femi is going to be a speaker for the 360 members.
So, a very big question here, Honorable Jibrin, is the zoning arrangement, yes, which you know that politically speaking, that consideration needs to be made. And Femi Gbajabiamila, by the way, is from the southwestern region of the country. And if you look at it, the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, votes in Lagos, major constituency in Lagos, but he's from Ogun State, from the southwestern region of the country. So a big question will be, how will it play out, considering the fact that the North Central region had said the best zone to get the Speaker of the House is the North Central region?
Well, you have to look at the whole of this from the macro perspective and, of course, the micro perspective. From the macro perspective, there is a balance. You have a president from the northern part of the country, and you have the Senate president from the northern part of the country. It is sufficient. Here you have the vice president from the southern part of the country, and of course you have the Speaker of the House of Representatives from the southern part of the country. Now, when you go to the micro level, that is where people are saying, okay, a couple of balances. But again, they said if you are coming to equity, you should come with a clean hands. Now, look at the whole of this, no exception. The whole of the members that are candidates at the moment that are contesting in 2011, including myself, we all voted for Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, knowing fully that the vice president at then is from the northwestern part of the country. Now, should we say this is all an issue of personal interest? But secondly, again, the party, of course, I know that very well, the agitation by the North as Central, they will get something at the level of the Senate, they will get something at the level of the House of Representatives. And this zoning is not only in the National Assembly, it is extended to the executive arm of government. So we're very sure that whichever zone that did not get something within the National Assembly will be compensated. The government has made that commitment, and of course the party has also made that commitment. And within the National Assembly, the only thing is when you argue that you are not getting what you want, but definitely every zone will get something. In the Senate, all the zones will be represented. In the House of Representatives, all the zones will be represented. From the broader perspective, the North has a president and the Senate president, and the southern part of the country has the vice president and, of course, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So I actually believe that there's fairness in it. And sometimes circumstances can lead to certain adjustment. But generally, holistically, I believe that there's fairness. And of course, where people perceive that there's been a bit of bend, it will be strengthened eventually.
So a big issue is some of the other contenders, Honorable Jibrin, is the fact that some of those, your colleagues are saying, it will only be fair if you have a North Central as the next speaker. But if you look at Honorable Wase from Plateau State, North Central, Honorable Bago Muhammad, also from the North Central region of the country. The big question will be, these are members of your party. Honorable Abdul Razak Nandas is also in the race. Is Mr. Gbajabiamila considering this? Is he reaching out to them, or is he ready to just go into the race against some of these your colleagues?
Well, of course, as you are fully aware, Honorable Gbajabiamila has already declared today, and we are going to run a very clean campaign, a very thorough campaign. Of course, we are ready to open our arms and work with anyone. But you know that we are not going to run our campaign and run the campaign of another person. We will extend our hands to build bridges. And anybody who also extend his hands, we're also going to take a look at it. And of course, we'll accept it. But the issue is about quality. And you are all part of the media. I think you should also take your time to put all the candidates seated and ask them. We are actually now talking about who wants what. But again, nobody is talking about legislative experience, pedigree, who has said what he wants to do. In all of these candidates, I don't like to go that way because we don't want to attack anybody and we are not going to attack anybody. In any case, we need all of them to come on board. But the reality of the matter is that only Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila has laid down a clear plan on how to run the House, address the needs of the National Assembly, strengthen it to perform its duty, and ensure that it's independent, it's protected, and of course, recognize that it has to also interdepend with other arms of government. So the other candidates you are talking about, all our colleagues, particularly Honorable Bago, who is a very good friend of mine, will continue to talk with them, lobby them to see reasons. And in any case, Bago personally told me that, of course, he will follow the directive of the party. And I think he should be able to be a man of his word. But again, I know that things will only get better.
Honorable Jibrin, if my history is right, I know you are one of those who walked against the stance of the party the last time. You stood with Dogara against the wishes of the party. Femi Gbajabiamila was the man the party wanted at the time. But you stood against, you are one of those who voted against what the party wanted. This time around, don't you think the tide will move against where you are standing, considering the opposition is making a very major move? For example, Honorable Ndudi Elumelu here, of the PDP, you know him, his pedigree, is coming.
Absolutely.
And they say that the APC is saying that it's going to take all, especially from what you heard from the national chairman of your party. Do you think you are aware of what the PDP is doing, especially with Ndudi Elumelu in the works?
Well, two issues. Let me quickly address the aspect of Elumelu. Of course, he's also a colleague of ours, and I'm sure that along the line we're going to work together. But, you know, it is a bit weird, and I actually stated that clearly during the declaration earlier today, that for a member of the minority party or the opposition to come up and say he wants to contest for the position of speakership or head of a national assembly, it's never been done anywhere in the world. And it will not be done in Nigeria because it is not in good taste. And I also say that in as much as we don't want to confront anyone, they should also realize that as members of the ruling party, the majority party in the House, we can decide to field one of us to also contest for the position of the minority leader. Support him, ensure he wins because we have the number, and ensure that he functions as minority leader at the level of the House. The highest thing they can do is to go to court. And it will become like a kind of, as they will say in Lagos, rofu kind of a fight. And that's not what we want at the moment. We want peace and unity. Nigerians are tired. The reality of and the circumstances of 2015 is different from 2019. Nigerians do not want to see fight. Nigerians do not want to see grandstanding.
Honorable Jibrin,
Nigerians
you've not spoken
governance.
To what I asked you. The earlier part of my
governance.
question. Sorry, just a moment. Honorable Jibrin, I said you were stood against the will of the party at the time, which wanted Gbajabiamila.
Yes.
You stood with Yakubu Dogara,
yes.
and Yakubu Dogara won. This time around, what makes you think that the tide is not going to swing against your stance this time?
I was coming to answer that for the fact that in 2011 and in 2015 we went against the party, and the experiences we've gone in between proved that it weren't too much of a pleasant decision. It does not mean that we cannot correct it now. Now that we're even lucky that we are in the system, we must do everything that we can to correct those things. And a couple of things have changed. Maybe, perhaps, We now have more experience. We've seen how these things are, and we are in the system. And the way I have just mentioned that it is important that we change these things. When you do something wrong or you take a bad decision in the past, does not make it some kind of a permanent situation where you must continue to do that. Once the opportunity comes and you realize that it was a wrong approach, it was a wrong perspective that you took, you must find a way to address it. And I think this is the best time. We are going to address it, not because of Femi, even as an individual, but for the stability of our democracy, for the fact that we need to see governance. And so this is exactly what we're going to do. And, you know, people will tell you that, oh, okay, election in the National Assembly, 360 members. Well, it also has to do with our constituents. And so every member realizes that our constituents, the people of Nigeria, what they want is to see government.
Honorable Jibrin, sorry if I may butt in. Sorry if I may butt in because of our time. I really want to, sorry if I may butt in because of our time. Speak to this quickly and in a very quick manner. The perception of a lot of people regarding the stand of your party. And the fear is that we're going to perhaps see a National Assembly that will be a rubber stamp of the executive. The party wanted this way, and so it will go this way. And the check and balances that the National Assembly should be on the executive will be lost. Those are the fears. So if you have Gbajabiamila endorsed by the executive, Lawan endorsed by the executive, invariably, the fear of the critics is that it's a rubber stamp of the executive.
Very quickly, just to be able to maximize or utilize the remaining time properly, let me conclude the previous conversation. I was talking about the situation of 2015 is different from 2019. If you look at in 2015, PDP came on board with about 140 members. Now they have 111 members. In 2015, they were looking out to shop for about 40 to 50 members, which they got. Now they will need to shop for about 75 to 80 members for them to be able to win. I tell you this, as an experienced member of that house, it is practically impossible. And of course, we've learned from experience and there's a change of strategy. Before PDP attacks and we defend, but now we'll also attack. So I will assure you that for any one member of APC that the PDP will take, the APC will recruit 2 or 3 members of the PDP. So we are prepared, and things have completely changed. Now, coming back to the question that you've just asked, there is no executive arm of government that is endorsing candidate. It is the party. And it's a standard practice all over the world. Even in this country, it is the practice until 2011 when things changed. So when things changed, then of course in 2015, a similar event repeated itself. And this is carried out by a small group, and perhaps it's becoming a pattern, and we've all decided that it is time to get it nipped. And of course, we are going to do it. We'll get it done this time around, and Femi will emerge as a speaker, inshallah.